Ogilvie, and again, she is coming out of DC here, so did travel in yesterday like Kevin did. So we appreciate them taking the long distance, and for those that had to come up here from downstate as well. Liz Ogilvie is the marketing manager, is for grassroots advocacy director, and a travel writer, all for the recreation and fishing community. In her 15-year career with the industry, she has worked for notable organizations such as LL Bean, Trout Unlimited, and the World Fishing Network. At the American Sportsfishing Association, she manages the national effort to increase participation in fishing from 47 million to 60 million anglers in 60 months. Wow, 60 in 60, and leads the political advocacy program, Keep America Fishing. She has a master's in nonprofit management, social media, and digital communications from Northeastern University and resides in Northern Virginia. So please give a warm welcome to Liz Ogilvie.
Hi, everyone. I am Liz Ogilvie, and I would like to welcome you to the midday slump. All right. But we have an exciting topic to talk about here, and that's the business of outdoor recreation and how big it is. Like was said, we are going to talk about the economics of outdoor recreation, and I've got some national numbers to share with you, sort of the holistic view of what outdoor recreation is in this country. And I'm not going to dwell on the facts and figures so much. We can make sure that you get those. But rather, with each point and with each topic, how you all might be able to use that at the local level with the Conservation District. Sound good? Okay. So before we get, and this is a very exciting moment in outdoor recreation. This conference could not happen at a more perfect time. There is something I'm going to be able to share with you that is happening right now that is a big influence to outdoor recreation. And I'm going to get that to the second half of my presentation. But before we get started, what is the American Sportsfishing Association and why am I here? ASA is the trade association of outdoor recreation. So not outdoor recreation, pardon me, recreational fishing. So fishing that is not commercial fishing. We are membership-based. Our members are businesses. So we have manufacturers, the folks who make lines, lures, and all the other tackle. We have retailers, both big, like big box stores like Bass Pro, and smaller independent shops like your very own Dave Kranz from Dave's Bait, Tackle, and Taxidermy. Excellent ASA member and personal friend of mine. Half of what we do is advocacy and legislative priorities. So we have lobbyists on our staff who are on Capitol Hill, AKA the swamp, all the time, who are dealing with legislative issues for us, specifically in recreational fishing, with our other partner organizations, Outdoor Rec as a whole. Part of that is Keep America Fishing. It's our grassroots advocacy campaign where we have almost 1 million anglers signed up to take action on fishing issues whenever we need. Okay, I'm the director of that program. And then we have a small foundation called Fish America Foundation where we give small grants to conservation and education programs in fishing. I'm also currently the acting director of Fish America Foundation. What I don't have any involvement in the planning of is ICAST. That is our annual trade show. ICAST is the largest fishing trade show in the world. It is business to business only. The public cannot attend. And if you are in the business of fishing, I would like to invite you to come to ICAST. It's in July in Orlando. You sweat a little bit, but you get a lot of business done, and it is a fun time. Now, there is a question that is formulating in some of your minds. In my almost 2 decades of working in the fishing industry, I know this question. I know it's formulating, and it gets distracting. So I'm just going to go ahead and answer it for you, okay? Yes, I actually do fish, okay? I fish every chance I get. I fish all over the world. I fish for every species. I fish every method. And if I have my choice, I am standing waist deep in a stream, casting a fly to trout, hopefully in a place that my phone doesn't work. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about participation, okay? The activities that make up the outdoor recreation economy. This is what it looks like, right? So we've got camping, we've got fishing, we've got bird watching, the whole slew of activities. Basically, as we define this, unofficially, is activities that take place in nature, comma, generally with physical exertion. Now, RVing, not necessarily the case, but we include them. We get them there. Okay, and how many people are actually participating? 144 million Americans in 2016 took part in an outdoor recreational activity. That's almost half of our country. 11 billion outdoor outings. What that means is that we're kind of junkies. We don't just do it once. When we get out there, we are doing activities multiple times a year, which is a good thing. Running, even road running, that's considered outdoor rec. So that's the highest participated in activity across all age ranges, all right? Stand-up paddleboarding has the highest growth the past 3 years running at an average of 18%. In my neck of the woods, what's catching on? Whitewater stand-up paddleboarding. A little crazy. Demographics, male and female, we are practically evenly split. Now, the interesting thing about that is that's outdoor rec as a whole, okay? The individual activities are varied, male and female. And we're starting to see women doing more and more activities and getting more and more involved. So, say in fishing, female demographic is the highest growing segment of fishing. Same with archery, and that's actually with girls. Why? Hunger Games. So, you see those trends. What that's not doing is increasing that overall pot, right? We're just getting people doing more activities, which is a good thing. The race one, Caucasian to Hispanic, this is a little deceptive to me because the Latino community is outside all the time, right? What they're doing, though, is picnicking, playing soccer. They're having birthday parties and family gatherings after church. Like, they are there all the time. It's whether or not we're counting them in outdoor recreation. They are a huge growth market also in fishing. Guess what? They don't like buying a fishing license. They don't like being on record. So we're trying to figure out how we can embrace them in an official capacity in a way that doesn't scare them and really capture that market share for us. So what are people doing when they're outdoors? We split up our segments into youth and adults, and for some reason, I think because 18 to 24-year-olds are still living at home these days, they're considered in the youth category. But the top 5, running, bicycling, fishing, camping, hiking, the usual suspects, right? Not much really to be, think that this is strange at all. When we get to adults, it's the same top 5 activities, just skewed a little bit differently. So more adults are fishing than kids, and more adults really get sick of sleeping on the ground. So camping goes down to the bottom of the list, right? So the takeaway for you all in this is if you are inviting people to the conservation district that you know are outdoor recreationists, and you're targeting that group of people, maybe they aren't participating in the district, and you want to bring them in, this is how you talk to them. These are the ways that you get them in. The talking points, they're doing all of these things. They want to do all of these things. You tell them you have what they want, right? What happens with people who don't participate in the outdoors? The other half of the American public who are not outdoor recreationists. They have been asked what they would aspire to do. If we were to sort of shove them out there, what would they want to do? And this is all over the map. Starting again with the youth, camping across the board. Why? Because people know camping. People know what that is, even as a kid. But then we start to get into martial arts and working out with weights, and you've got soccer, swimming on a team. Sort of, as you get older and older and older, the awareness of what you can do in the outdoors becomes more prevalent, right? And again, when we get to the adults, it's even stronger. By the time we get to the 45 and up age mark, we finally see bird viewing and wildlife watching. We get canoeing. We get, what are you laughing at? We get canoeing, we get kayaking, there was climbing in there. The takeaway from this is if you want to invite people to the conservation district who are not outdoor recreationists, you need to be very explicit as to what they're getting into. You need to invite them to an activity and make them feel comfortable doing it. Let them know what the day would entail, how much time. Do you have gear for them? Do you have education for them? Is this a strenuous or non-strenuous activity? Can a 6-year-old do it? Can a 70-year-old do it? And show them pictures of what that group looks like, having fun doing it. It's not a difficult stretch, but you can broaden the group of people who are coming to the district and enjoying outdoor recreation by talking to them in a different way, holding their hand a little bit. It's possible. So let's talk dollars and cents.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
The McHenry County Audubon, so the bird watching thing doesn't even show up until 45?
Correct. Snooze alert. Doesn't even, well, remember, this is aspirational activities. These are people who do not participate in outdoor recreation, who are thinking, if I'm gonna go into a park today, what would I do? So they really don't have any clue. And when you look back at the, I gave it away. When you look back at the 6 to 12-year-old group, the activities listed aren't really outdoor rec activities, because if they don't have an adult telling them what it is, or have a society telling them what it is, they don't know. They just don't know, that's all. So we have to introduce folks, okay? So back to dollars and cents. Outdoor rec, consumer spending in this country is an $887 billion industry, 7.6 million American jobs, over $100 billion, in tax revenue, federal and state. That's a lot of money. That is a huge industry. What does this break out to? $887 billion, by the way, is more than we spend on pharmaceuticals and gas combined, if you put it into that context, right? So there's two segments of this billions of dollar pot. We've got outdoor recreation products. That's our gear. We're all gearheads. We love gear. Gear, apparel, footwear, equipment, services, vehicle purchases. It's a pretty small segment of that pot, $184 billion. The biggest part is trip and travel expenditures. When you're going to do an outdoor recreational sport, you may be traveling a short distance or a long distance. You may have an airplane ride and hotels, gas, groceries. You may be buying granola bars and beef jerky. That's what I buy. That all goes into trip and travel expenditures, okay? Here is the takeaway on this. Outdoor recreational products, buying of that gear. Unfortunately, sorry, Dave, the longer and longer we go, the more of the retail market share is not local. We are buying these products online. Amazon is a player. Amazon is the newest member of the American Sportsfishing Association. Why? Because we have 47 million people who fish every year. They know this, right? The opportunity here is the trip and travel expenditures. That is local to your economy. People are spending money near the places they outdoor recreate. It may not be on gear, but it is on restaurant purchases and fueling up on gas. That's how you expand this economy. You start getting more and more people into the district who are traveling to you. You start boosting your collective economy locally. Okay? Now, this number, those of us who go to the swamp regularly trying to fight for rights of outdoor recreationists, we have gotten sick over the years of trying to explain this number and the economy of outdoor recreation and what it means to us as a country. So we decided to get together and develop a bill, the Outdoor Recreation Jobs and Economic Impact Act, also called the REC Act. We got some sponsors for this bill, and in 2016 it passed. What it does is it asks the Bureau of Economic Analysis, which is part of the Department of Commerce, to actually count outdoor recreation as a segment of our economy, making us a segment of the GDP, or gross domestic product. We have never been counted separately before, ever. Fishing and hunting and other outdoor rec sports are counted in agriculture. Doesn't make sense. How do we get counted on our own? And right here, right now, the announcement's about to come out. Not the number, but as we speak, the BEA is developing their final report to come out on Wednesday. This Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. So I'm going to explain this a little to you because I went to the BEA. I was invited to the BEA in the Department of Commerce, which is a very high security building of 10,000 people who work there. Very intimidating. Went there for a meeting to see the embargoed numbers and sign my life away to say I will not tell anyone before the public announcement. So I'm not going to tell you what the numbers are. Sorry. But I am going to tell you about their methodology because that was really, really interesting to me and everyone in the outdoor rec. The first thing that they had to do was determine what gets counted as outdoor recreation. And this is how they did it. They started off with conventional outdoor recreation, which is all of the things that we like to say, activities taking place in nature, the usual suspects, the whole shebang. And then they added on this other column, other outdoor recreation, which they define as leisure activities done in the outdoors. So Disney, Busch Gardens, Lollapalooza is now part of us, as well as the NFL. I mean, all coming together into one big outdoor recreation pot. It took us a little bit to get our minds around this, and we're going to be working with them on their methodologies because we have a year or until September until the report gets fully published. But we're kind of like, well, the more the merrier, I guess. Where else are they going to be? So right now, this is what is counted. Let me tell you what's not. So we say consumer spending. That is what we have always measured our industry by. $887 billion in outdoor recreation products, trip and travel spending. That is from the consumer down. How much money are we shelling out for outdoor rec? Gross domestic product is from the bottom up. It is the production of goods and services here domestically, okay? So what's not counted in their numbers are the wholesale value of imported products. What that means, if I buy, you buy, $100 fishing rod, right? The wholesale value of that rod is $75. If that rod is made in China, how much gets thrown into the GDP? 25. If that rod was made here in the United States, the full $100 would get thrown into the GDP. We're not the only segment that they do that to. It's domestic production, right? So that $887 billion starts to go, woo, shrink a little bit. Then, what's not included are travel expenditures within 50 miles. So if you go to do an outdoor rec activity within 50 miles of your home, those expenses are not counted. If it's beyond 50 miles, they are counted. But since 67% of outdoor recreational trips are taken within 50 miles of your home, that number went, deflated a little bit again. So, how do I put this? The number's not as big, but we are really excited about this. This is the very first time that we have been counted as a segment of our economy. What does that give us? Influence. We don't have to justify who we are on Capitol Hill anymore. The numbers will be official. They give us legitimacy. They help legislators know that when we're trying to do this, access, conservation, infrastructure, public-private partnership, resource allocation, within those major funding bills like the Farm Bill, the Highway Bill, the gas and oil bills, all of those bills contain funding and budget allocations for public lands. We can now go in there and say, hello, give us our share because the American public wants it and they will help us profit off of it. Not just us, but the American public. So this is really, really important to us. We are so incredibly excited about this. We're not caring about the numbers themselves. The actual influence that we're going to have helps all of us on the national level. It will help you as well. So, where does that take me? The last point that I would love for all of you to think about today, especially in your last breakout session, open space preservation and outdoor recreation economics go hand in hand. And the question is the investment of it all. What is spent? But before you think about dollars, I encourage you to think about time. Time spent. When you spend time in a place, you learn more about it. You start to understand it. You realize the benefits that it has and the contribution it gives to your life. You start to love it. What do you do then? You invest your money. Money doesn't have to be money coming out of your wallet. Money can be when there's a referendum or a budget split or some sort of other public notice about the conservation district that you need people to vote for or influence for. If they have spent time in the district getting to know you, participating with you, learning what the benefits that you offer are and how they themselves are affected by that, they will vote for you. They will stand up for you. They might volunteer time as well. They may bring other people to you. How can you, as individuals, as well as business and community leaders, inspire more people to spend time in the conservation district? It seems like an easy question, but it's actually kind of challenging. But you can do that. You can certainly do that. So, the good news, Illinois residents have a positive attitude about outdoor recreation. We've talked about that a little bit, Kevin did. Health and fitness benefits, people believe that outdoor recreation gives them. Quality of life and economic vitality of their community. They believe that the maintenance of park facilities is an important thing that happens in their community, and they want a variety of activities. So you've got to lead up, but just trying to get to them and get people rallied together for the benefit of the Conservation District is really important going forward for you all, I would assume. So I want to say thank you again for having me here. Really appreciate the time. Thank you.
Did anybody have a few questions before we break out for Liz?
There was one question that was asked earlier, if you don't mind, that I address. Somebody had asked about people moving to a place because of the conservation benefits and the economics of that. Something else really good that's happening across the country right now is there are state governors that are making brand new outdoor recreation economic departments. They are crafting these departments out of their current budgets. 9 states already have them, and we're trying to get all 50 states across the country to develop these departments. Their goals are to broadcast what their outdoor recreation economy in the state actually is to draw more businesses, more of a population to their state. So that is actually happening as we speak, so good foresight there. whoever asked that question. Yes?
You had mentioned that you were not capturing the Hispanic population, mostly Caucasian and not a lot of the others. With the new type of measuring that you're talking about working with, where they're adding sports events and things like that, are they also looking at the demographics and going to be probably adding more variety beyond Caucasian?
Absolutely. The question was, do the demographics broaden because of what's now being counted and added on as those other recreation sports in the GDP? Their numbers that BEA takes all come from us. We give them survey data. They also get electronic retail data. They compile it all, they split it all up, and they jigger it all. So if those other industries supply that data, we will be then compiling that with us. I don't know that we will include those figures into the conventional recreation data. I'm not sure, we're not sure, literally we just found out about this like 3 days ago. So we're not sure exactly what we're gonna do with it all. But it's a very good point. What are those demographics going to look like now? Yes?
I'm wondering, as far as ability to change that limitation, as far as not counting tourism within 50 miles, particularly in our area, we'd like to have ecotourism as part of our rationale for having the places and as a revenue stream. We've got habitat and a variety of other things that having that local is really important. But we're not going to have a voice if that's not counted. Is there a way we can lobby? I mean, what would be the avenue for us to try and change that?
So how do we change BEA's methodology a little bit? And that actually is something that they've already come to us and said, how do we make this report better? How do we count this better? They want to work with us. They are not really that strict on it. I think they were reacting to us kind of blowing up at them a little bit during the meeting. We were trying to be kind, but we were like, what are you thinking here? So they definitely want to work with us. They've already said that, and they're doing it with other industries. They're doing it like with the healthcare industry, talking less about the drugs and the products and healthcare services provided and sold, and then looking at healthcare service effectiveness. How many people are they affecting beyond just the patient, but as the family as a whole? So we have ways to work with them on that, and we are going to look at that, and the 50-mile marker is almost number one on our list, for sure.
Your aspirational list of outdoor activities, is that a statewide number?
National.
National?
That's across the country.
Does it break down into smaller units?
I haven't seen that.
Okay, so
I don't know. I don't know.
it would be nice to have a
Absolutely, yeah, it would be. It would be. Should we take one more? One more.
Just a follow-up to the previous question over here about translating some of those numbers to local ecotourism and other activities. If we have this national number of 887 billion, how could the district, for example, translate some of its local impacts with trails, hiking, fishing, paddling activities? So does your organization have a breakout or some way to break out numbers by trip so that we could actually do some calculations? So I think one of our big challenges, this comes up in some of the questions that we'll be asking in the next breakout, is how does what the district do and provide translate to local government, economic development, bicycle shops, and things like that?
So those national numbers do break down into states, and you can actually find all of this data on the Outdoor Industry Association's website, which is outdoorindustry.org, and you can find the state numbers as well, according to consumer sales, jobs, taxes, and that sort of thing. As far as district level, the BEA, once they put out their report, may be able to go that deep. Again, I have not seen that, but we can certainly figure out if we can get that to you. Most of the methodology that we use is with a research company called Southwick Associates, and we work very closely with them, and I can certainly ask them if there's a way to do that. They're probably already counting it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, just awesome. So you're going to leave, you're going to go into your last conversations, and then we want you to come back for the closing. And yes, to tease you with, there is dessert coming soon. So again, if you haven't signed on to the Fundamental Declaration, you're invited to do that as well. Oh, there is.